Hi, Catelin. Happy morning.
Hey, good morning. It's the perfect time for a gin and tonic, isn't it?
It is. There's nothing like that 9 a.m. gin and tonic. Here we go.
Honestly,
So,
yeah.
I mean,
I have my coffee.
I have mine too.
It's hot, though. It's
It's
hot
into my-
coffee.
Yeah. You have hot coffee or you have cold coffee?
I have hot coffee, and I have
Oh.
been doing cold because our little coffee maker makes cute little iced coffees. But I was running today.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because in Italy, no matter how hot it is, they drink hot coffee and they say it
Yeah.
cools them down. And like the English with hot tea, like iced tea, they're like, no, just drink a hot tea. And it's like, it's 105. And they're like, it cools you down on the inside. And I'm like, I don't know how that works. That makes no sense to me. I would need somebody who understands
No, that science
physiology.
doesn't. That science
I-
doesn't science.
I feel like it's not good science. But yeah, but that was just what was sort of weird. I mean, they also drink, like in Italy, your morning coffee is like 2 shots of espresso and a little bit of sugar in a tiny glass, and you chat with people and shoot it, and then you're off to work. Actually, you do it during work. That's usually a break thing, like mid-morning.
Yeah. It could be
Anyway,
about that.
or I mean, sometimes they go into work that late, I think, in those countries, right? Like, I feel like Spain in particular operates on Central Time. Like, when I was there, I just stayed on Central Time because then, like, it's like a 6-hour difference. But then you just get up at like 10 or 11 and you have lunch like mid-afternoon. You have dinner at 8 or 9,
I love this.
maybe 10. Then, like, the clubs don't eat. Like, here people joke, like, oh, you can't go to a club until like 11. And then, no, there it's 1 or 2. They start going up, and then you're done at like 4 or 5 in the morning.
Oh, no, I don't do 4 or 5 in the morning.
You go to
but-
bed. Well, you can maybe just go for an hour with friends.
Right.
And then you could get your 7 or 8 hours of sleep. But yeah, it was wild. And oddly enough, we're going to talk about Spain here in a little bit.
Oh, my gosh.
But before we do that, we should probably talk about a topic. We've got you and I are the guests today and hosts. We're talking about website pain points.
Are we
And how to
ghosts today then? If we're
overcome
guests and hosts, ghosts.
Ghosts. I have a meme to send you about
Okay.
welcome mats with whales on them. And combining that word, which is a good way to go. I'll just leave that. I don't want the explicit on this just yet, so I'm going to leave that to people's imagination.
Welcome.
You got it.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, those exist. Somebody has created those, and you can buy them, and they're for sale all over the place. And it's like, no, that's not how whales say. Well, it might be how whales say welcome. I don't know. Like, I don't know whales. I haven't talked to any recently.
I actually speak fluent whale based on the translations from Finding Dory and Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
Dorothy was very impressed by my whale calling abilities.
That was also in is it Las Palmas? The Florida Apple TV show.
Palm
with Carol
Royale.
Burnett. Palm Royale, that one, yes. It was Las Palmas is the hotel in Acapulco, I think. But anyway.
It's a multi-zip code episode today.
It
We're
is.
all over the place.
But no, in
as
Palm
opposed to
Royale,
usual.
she has the one of the sugar bakers. I'm just gonna throw way back. I can't remember her name, the blonde one. Anyway, she's in that, and she has an existential moment with a whale that's trapped on the beach, which was very exciting. And then, spoiler alert, if you have not seen that show, the whale saves her later after she falls off. Well, she's pushed off a boat. So,
Wow.
oh no, she's not the one. It's Kristen Wiig who gets pushed off the boat. I don't know. The whale saves her anyway.
Spoilers abound here.
I know, lots of them. But we're talking about websites today and issues you may have and some of the solutions for those. So as background, I've been doing websites since I was a toddler, basically in the 90s. I was actually doing them in the 80s, honestly.
Since the beginning of Al Gore's internet.
Basically, yes. Yes. When we all had numbers and letters for email addresses, and you had either CompuServe or AOL, and AOL sent you CDs that you could wallpaper your house with.
Yep.
Look
What
up
did the
CDs, kids.
CDs do?
They installed the software on your computer.
Okay.
So it was an entire CD for like a 200 kilobyte program.
And then instead of like updates, you had to get new CDs?
No,
Is that
no. You
there
would
were
just
no
when you
updates?
no, there were updates. When you connected to AOL, it would just
Okay.
push the updates to you. It would just take forever because you were going through your phone line. So
Ding, ding,
anyway,
ding, ding.
I actually still
Almost
have
like
archived.
yeah.
I'll have to dig them up. I've got one of my first like richmackey.com websites. I think I've owned that domain since 92 or 90 or something.
Wow.
Um, but yeah, so I still have some of those old ones. I did HTML and all that stuff. It was so exciting. But
I would like to take this moment to tell anyone who's ever considered owning a business, running for
oh,
office,
get a
doing
domain.
anything, go by your name, because it's like at this point it's almost like part of your identity.
Yeah, it's like
Like it's like your social security number but online.
it's
And
more
so
permanent than your home address,
right.
honestly. Like,
Do
um,
not let somebody squat on your your internet address.
yeah, and I think if you've got a really unique name, you're probably going to be better off.
Mm-hmm.
But I just got a whole bunch from whoever has richmackey at gmail.com. Like, that's me who has that. But somebody thinks they have it and they keep giving somebody that email address. And I got all this. It's somebody in Pennsylvania. Like, I've been in his classmates.com and I logged out of it and took my email address out of it. These are all like event things. So like, yeah, own your name and get your name on the on the free emails like Gmail. Yahoo, I still
Oh,
have. Hotmail, I still have. You have to log into them every so often to keep them. But yeah, I've had those forever too, even though I don't really use them.
I hadn't thought about the other
Mhm.
email providers because, like, I have a Gmail and that's
I just,
sufficient.
yeah, I just forward them all to the Gmail. And then I never check it because I don't use that one because now I've just given it out to our tens of listeners to email me. You can email me if you want to. I might see it. Who knows?
Get stuck in the in the thousands of coupons.
I know I had one for that too that was like offers at richmackey.com, but that one I got rid of because so the nice thing about that is you just nuke it at some point and it goes away and
And
then
you
you wait
never
like
have
a
to look at
year.
another sale ad.
Correct. All right,
Mm.
but we're not here to talk about email. Caitlin, you do a lot with websites. You kind of wound yourself into this niche,
Yeah, I have a niche.
a niche.
She's yeah.
So
She
Caitlin keeps
knows
them.
enough to be dangerous.
She does. She knows enough to keep them on time and on budget and make clients happy.
Yeah.
And to the point where if you've ever done a web redesign, they generally suck. Like
Uh-huh.
they take forever. They're a pain in the ass, and
It's
then
it's
you
like
hate it.
yeah. The peaks and valleys of website projects are high highs and low lows.
Yeah,
It's
but
like you
what's
see the first
fun?
concept and you're like, this is amazing. And then you realize, or the client realizes, that they have to write that many pages. And then they're like,
Hmm.
this is terrible.
Or just pay us to write the pages. That's fine too.
Yes. Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so our process though, like we've managed to hone in, and I remember the early days you were doing this, and like we got it good. So I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm so
Hmm.
sorry.
Shall we
We'll
talk about a
get to that.
cocktail?
Yeah. So Spanish gin and tonic. So not your average gin and tonic, which is literally just gin and tonic.
Maybe a
Um,
lemon or a lime,
yeah, a little citrus.
depending on
Um,
where you.
where you live and what honestly for us it's what fruit do we have available. I've done a gin
Yeah.
and tonic with an orange wedge, which is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Grapefruit gets into weird territory, I think, for me with the bitter and the bitter because you kind of want that
Uh-huh.
sweet citrusy acidity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so gin and tonics are British, surprise, surprise. And they were used as medicine in India. So quinine comes
Quinine.
out of, yeah, quinine is in it, which always sounds to me like a poison, but I guess in enough quantities,
In
anything's a
enough quantities.
poison, right?
Yes. My post-college days, a girlfriend and I, rather than hangovers, we would say we had gin tummy because we had too much quinine.
Hmm.
We
I
blamed the quinine, but we were safe from malaria.
You were, and that's
So,
why they ate it. But it was super bitter,
yes.
and the soldiers didn't like it.
Hmm.
And so they mixed it with sugar, lime, and their gin ration, because of course, if you're a British soldier, you've got a gin ration.
That's very smart.
Um, and that created the foundation for tonic water, which was the quinine, the lime, or quinine, the sugar, and a little bit of, yeah, no, like that's it. right? Yeah.
Quinine and sugar. I love
Yep.
it.
Yeah, which is also why a gin and tonic is not a zero cal like a vodka soda is.
Mm.
So because the soda water has no calories, the quinine it's got like I don't know like 10 calories or in the tonic whatever.
Honestly, if you're counting down to tens of calories, like I can't do that. I
Yeah.
don't. I'm sure you're lovely, but I don't want to share a cocktail with you.
Yep. So, anyway, in the 20th century, we go all the way 2 centuries ahead. So that's 200 years, right? Yeah.
Yep.
In Spain, where bartenders like they decided like, oh, those Brits, like we're gonna do something different, and so they made sure to use really fresh tonic water, which I guess if you're in India in the military, and then the 18th century would be the 1700s.
Yes.
I have to do math and history. The water's probably not that great. So the
Mm-hmm.
quinine probably really helped, which is why they're combating malaria. So anyway, also they started to develop gins with unique flavor profiles, which as you know, are my favorite gins.
Correct.
Not necessarily Spanish, but I love a good like funky flavored gin. And then they made their own glass. So like they really just pushed it beyond. Um, so this Copa de Balón glass, which I think means balloon cup, if I remember right. Like that sounds right from our Spanish lessons in previous episodes. It's like a short, fat wine glass, but it's specifically for the Spanish gin and tonic.
Yeah.
So it went from like dump two things in a glass over ice to a carefully crafted cocktail.
Yeah. But I love thyme. This is It's very interesting. Okay, so to make this, you're gonna take 2 ounces of London dry gin. I might push back on that a little bit and say try one of the Hendrix, like not as super dry, because they do some really interesting flavor profiles.
Yeah, we
4
also like
ounces of
the Plymouth.
tonic water.
The Plymouth gin, if you need a British gin, because it's a little milder. Although I think this one you want the juniper taste is my guess, but I do think some of the herbal in those Hendrix, like, yeah, email us or call in.
Yeah.
We'll tell you all the Hendrix flavors.
2 ounces of London dry gin, 4 ounces of tonic water, chilled. And we're going to garnish with juniper berries, a lemon wheel, and some thyme. So you're going to pour the gin into your Copa de Balón or a wine glass if you don't want to spend. If you don't want to buy a special glass for this. Pour that into a wine glass or Copa de Balón filled 3/4 with ice. Top with the tonic water and stir gently and briefly to combine. Garnish with juniper berries, a lemon wheel, and a thyme sprig. And that would be fresh as fuck for summer.
Yep. And so from a wine glass perspective, any of the fat wine glasses, I think it's a Pinot glass that's really fat, if I remember right, Pinot Noir.
I only know reds and whites.
Okay. Well, it'd be a red glass, but I think it's a Pinot glass. Anyway, you look at your glassware and you've got something that is fat, like big wide with a slightly narrow top. Just look up Copa de Balón. It'll be what I love about the gin and tonic though is like this one is a specific one, and I do love the thyme. I love an herb on there. The lemon wheels. So what we've started doing when we have citrus that's like it's not bad yet, but it's gonna be soon. We slice it and dehydrate it in the toaster oven, and then we just put those in a bag and stick them in the freezer. And then
Tyrell
they
did
do
the
a really
same
good
thing
job.
at home. Yes.
Yeah, they do a really good job at chilling your drink too. It's so fantastic.
Oh, that's smart. That's very smart.
So I asked Brian why we keep them in the freezer if they're dried, like we don't have to, and he's like, yeah, because then they're cold when they go in your drink. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. But yeah, you can do so much with the gin and tonic. Like you've got elderflower gin, you've got or elderflower tonic. I think there is elderflower gin as well.
That's correct.
We had the fever tree tonics are so good, and so many like there's like a lemon one.
Yeah.
Just
Fever Tree is our house tonic.
our house tonic too, and Hendrix
my
is our
gosh.
house gin, but only for people who appreciate gin. If you don't appreciate gin, we've got some of the Gordons in the plastic bottle for you.
And shut up and drink your vodka.
Oof.
Don't complain to me.
You know what? We actually ran out of vodka the other day, and I didn't notice because I hadn't had any for so long. Somebody wanted like a vodka lemonade, and I was like, "Ooh, we're out of vodka."
Sorry.
We have blueberry vodka that somebody left at our house.
Ew.
No, No, don't do that.
No,
Yeah.
that won't be
Okay.
allowed.
I feel like we should probably
Cheers.
take a quick break and come back and talk websites.
Yes. We're back. Let's talk about some website pain points.
Yeah, and I think what I want to talk through a little bit is just the fact that like we love doing websites, which we didn't used to. We used to hate them. They were good money, but so much work, so terrible. But now we have a very good process, and we've done. I mean, how many websites do you think we've put through that process in the last 3 years that we've had it? At
15?
least
10.
Yeah, and they seem to go really well.
It's funny because like I will blank out when people are like, oh, can we send some website examples? And I'm like, we don't have any. And like I just like I'm like, does not compute. And then I'll look back because I have all of my emails sorted by client, and I'll just look down the client folder and I'm like, oh, we could send that one, we could send that one, we could send that one. Like,
I just always ask Jesse. I'm like, Jesse, what website should I send to these people? And he's like, send these.
Yeah.
And remember, this one was not using the theme. This one was a complete custom build, so don't use it as an example of what we can do. And I'm like, oh, right, okay. That won't be the affordable website then.
No.
So, yeah, I think that, like, one of the things that we hear a lot, especially with old websites, is, oh, my God, it's so slow. Like, and then their bounce rate goes through the roof because people will not wait for that thing to load. At all.
People won't even scroll past the first like 5 Google results to get the answer they want before they search for something different. So imagine if your site is not loading quickly. Some of the fixes for that, optimize your images so you can reduce the file size of those. We use a website called Tiny PNG. Tinify, I think.
I don't know.
Tiny PNG.
But yeah, and you can saving images as WebP, W-E-B-P, but it's pronounced Weppy.
Weppy.
It's a Google format, and like when we started to do that, like I was like, oh, this 34K image, like no big deal. No, it's like 6K with no loss of quality. It's just super optimized, and that site does that, I believe, because I know that we have a lot of those.
I don't
remember.
There. I just used it to compress 5 meg full like JPEGs.
I mean, but you can
PNGs,
also
you
can save Weppy images from Photoshop. It's a little different. You don't export, you save as, I think. But I know Megan knows how to do that and does a really good job. And those work really well. One caution is if you're an e-commerce site and you're pushing out to like Google Commerce and Bing Commerce and all of that, sometimes they don't like the Weppy images, so you can push. Then you have to use a PNG. But get it as small as you can.
Yes. It is tinypng.com.
Okay.
And I'm curious. I was just trying to confirm whether they would go to Smart WebP Webby. It just makes me think of like little ducks, PNG and JPEG compression. So Tiny PNG has a free version that works really well, but if you want to do like a huge batch of images, it's like $30 a year or something.
And what's really nice about that is you can batch those and then like just download them all from your website. Usually you can access that somewhere in the back end and throw them all in there and make them all smaller. And then you can do an image replace where you pop it back up so you don't have to go back in and figure out where that image is and change the URL and all that. Or just have somebody like us do it. We know what we're doing. I think another thing is like, so people they see like reduce HTTP requests and they're like, what is that? And that's the number of things your website needs to load, in particular on the first page and in particularly above the fold on the first page. So every icon, every link out, every like
video,
group of text,
photo.
videos. Yep. So reducing the number of those, and there's a whole lot of ways to do that. So I've seen people use images just for a colored background. Don't do that because it's got to load the image. Just actually put a colored background on it, and then it's just pinging that color, which is easier.
Yes.
So servers. generally out of your control, but you can look at where you're hosting and where other people are hosting. So we do have a self-serve WordPress hosting. We don't do a lot of WordPress websites anymore. We really use HubSpot's Content Hub.
Not if I
For
can help it.
most of ours.
Anytime you bring me a WordPress website, I'm like, that's not going to work for me.
Yeah, and we'll get into why that is. Kind of, I
Yeah.
think the next one actually gets into that.
Great.
But the service that we use actually has, for just a few dollars more, one, it's a dedicated server per site, so you're not on a shared server. And then for a few dollars more, you can actually be on a more optimized platform that has, just like your computer would, it's got more RAM, it's got more cache space on the storage, things like that. So there's also little things like CDNs and other stuff that we can talk about, but just anything you can do to make sure your hosting plan is up to snuff.
Yes.
And if you're doing an $8.95 a month hosting plan at GoDaddy, no, that is not. No, it's just not good all around.
Hackathon.
One, yes, you're at risk of getting hacked because GoDaddy's big and the hackers like big because they can get a whole bunch of stuff at once. But you're also on those cheap plans or free plans or $2 a month, you're not getting a good hosting plan to be able to serve your site. You're much better off paying, I mean, even just, $300 or $400 a year, $20 or $30 a month is what a lot of premium plans cost. And if you do have e-commerce, you definitely want an e-commerce plan because e-commerce is heavy.
Yeah. I think this last one is interesting too, because some of this happens, I think, automatically without people realizing. So enabling a browser to cache your site. But then the flip side of that is if you have like form fill concerns or things where it's like, oh, it's not quite working right, always clear your browser cache first. So it's kind of twofold, right? You're going to get a faster load time, but you just want to make sure that you periodically kind of clean out that junk drawer of website caches so that it doesn't get gunked up.
And you can't control your the user's cache, obviously, on their browser, but you can, and what we'll do a lot of times, if you completely change your site, you can turn off browser caching to not allow anybody to cache it, usually at the server level. And then it'll force the new site out to everybody. Otherwise, it'll get there in 24 to 48 hours. Like they'll get the new stuff. It's really not a huge deal.
Right.
But there are ways for you to clear that or turn it off. A lot of times putting it in development mode will automatically turn off caching because that way you'll see everything as you're doing it real time. But just some quick tips there. But generally, caching is a good thing. And what's funny is, so the server you're on with your website caches, your individual browser caches, but there are also nodes of the internet around the world that have their own cache. So like we actually have, not for websites, but for apps, for iOS and Mac OS, we use an old machine attached to our network at home that when one of us downloads the app, it actually caches that app at the machine level. So then if the next one of us downloads, it's instant because it's not going to the internet. It's actually pulling in. I didn't even know we could do this, but we can apparently. My internal IT team set that up. So.
I know. I was like, Brian is a wizard.
You have an in-house bartender. I have an in-house IT pro, and former Mac genius, and also sommelier. He's a man of many talents.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So
when we start the commune, the Fox Mackey household is my first call.
We also know how to purify water. So like we know how to render like pool water drinkable, which would be extreme, like, but if you have 20,000 gallons of water in your backyard, like being able to make that drinkable, and we could put quinine in it so that we don't get malaria.
Perfect.
Excellent. So Caitlin, I think this next one is why you like HubSpot's.
It is.
Content management system a lot better than a WordPress.
Content Hub has just like changed the game in terms of forward compatibility and
ooh, good term, forward
thank
compatibility.
You. Yes.
That means that your website will continue to work even as the internet changes its technology and gets better.
Well, and it's easier to understand how to edit. Like you don't have to go, there is no like back end of editing website pages necessarily.
True.
Like what it's a WYSIWYG, you know.
What you see is what you get.
Exactly. I'm going to use all of the lingo that I know. So you can watch your updates happen live, and there are some like kinks every now and again, or quirks, but I for some volunteer work that I've been doing, I've been using Wix, and it's been like learning a different language. And I'm like, oh, I just want to go back to, and things are hidden and they don't quite make sense. But on HubSpot, you can create or use that user-friendly CMS, content management system, and you don't have to know how to code.
So, Catelin, why get whoever you're doing volunteer work with, get them into the
She's
HubSpot's
working on
customer
it.
platform.
She's
So they
working on
just
it.
dropped the price again. It's $15 per user per month now. It's
Yes.
$180 a year. And note that you can be a partner user and not get charged for it.
Right.
That's what I do. I have a friend who owns a small business, and that's what I did for him. He was in all these things, and I'm like, no, your store is going to Shopify, and all of your marketing is moving to HubSpot's like content platform or customer platform. And
Yes.
he's like, okay. And I'm like, great,
Okay.
thank you.
Well, and that's, I mean, I think it kind of goes back to what I was saying about like, don't bring me WordPress websites, right? Is like for us, understanding and knowing and being really confident in what we know, that HubSpot is, in terms of website user friendliness, HubSpot is one of the easiest to understand, edit, maintain. And if you get stuck, there is a bevy of professionals. If you don't want to use us, you can find somebody in the partner directory that's close to you, or in India if you want
Or
to pay
just
$7.
their support team is fantastic. Like,
Yes.
so on the starter suites or starter platform, I think they're calling it now.
Yeah.
You get access to email and live chat. You can't do phone support, but I will
Which
tell
is
you
fine.
that-
I don't want to
know,
call.
I don't want to talk to them on the phone either. Their live chat is really good, and a lot of times it'll convert to an email ticket, or sometimes I'll just go in and be like, I don't want to even chat with somebody. I just want an answer like in 24 or 48 hours, and I'll just email them and be like, I'll check this later.
The other thing too is their knowledge base is exceptionally easy to use, and there's a whole community of power users that like, I think, is it Karsten Kohler? I think his whole job is to just answer HubSpot questions. He is in the knowledge, or in the community all the time.
Shout
And
out
has
to
like,
Karsten, who probably doesn't
yes.
listen to us. You should tag him and say, we mentioned you.
But the beauty and the ease of use in a holistic CMS too, because the other thing that's really lovely about this is that their email builder functions almost identically. So you don't have to learn how to use a new email builder. Their landing page interface functions the same as their website page interface. And
It's actually the exact same interface right now. You can convert a web page to a landing page and vice versa if you want to.
wow, I haven't had to
Yeah.
do that yet.
It's in Actions.
All right.
So
yeah.
I think what's good for us is it actually like minimizes what we need to do for maintenance after we build a site. Because like we've had ongoing agreements, like, which is great. It's good money with a lot of people, just because they couldn't, like the WordPress thing, they would screw it up, or it would be touchy with HubSpot. Like, one, you can roll back if you screw something up to a previous version, but it's just easy. Like when we demo it for people, they're like, oh, yeah, I could do this, because it's built for marketers, not developers.
And there was something else. Oh, there's no like plugin updates. There's no, it's the idea of no backend, right? Like they have a 99% uptime. They have great service, but there's no like plugin updates or like
No control panel, or
funny
anything like
code that you have to like sort through to get answers. Like, as long as you're not trying to do anything crazy, if it's really, really easy to use, which leads us to the next point.
confusing navigation. the thing you definitely want is for people to get to your website. So this one kind of goes with another one with unclear calls to action. I'm going to put those together, like just to squish them in a little bit, because the goal here is when people get to your site, you want them to be able to do what you want them to do, right? You want to make it clear. Like, I don't want to come to a site and be like, well, I don't know what to do here. I'm going to leave. Like, if I can't find what I need in the navigation and I don't know what you want me to do or what you're offering me or what, like, the goal is here, it's basically like if you go to a store and they make it really hard for you to give them your money. Like, make it easy for me to give you my information. Make it worth it for me to give you my information. Make it easy for me to get what I want.
Yes. Well, and make it clear what your goal is in service or sales or whatever it is. Like if your goal is to talk to somebody either on the phone or via email, like reach out, say hello, contact us. Like all of those types of like easy to understand calls to action.
Yep. Learn more. Download now.
Yes.
Buy here. Like just really, really clear action words. Like, what do I do?
And one of my favorite things that Jesse and Megan have really, really started to implement on interior pages especially is those breadcrumbs that tells you, and like this is my experience is always like in e-commerce, right? When I'm like, okay, so I'm on this page, but I want to go back to the page with all of the dresses with pockets. And like, I can just click that breadcrumb back as opposed to like having to back out with my browser 14 times after I've looked at all of the size and color variations, but just like take me one layer back or one layer deeper. And the breadcrumb navigation, which is just a little trail that shows your location. It's kind of like your navigation history, usually at the top of the page, and that makes all the difference in terms of navigation. It's also really helpful internal links too, right? Like you can get back to where you want it to be. Yeah.
100%. And I think we've also started putting icons in like mega menus. So mega menus are great, but if they're just 100 words, like makes no sense. So I love how Jesse and Megan have started grouping things logically and having a little icon that kind of indicates what it is.
Yeah.
So good.
One of the other real benefits of the HubSpot CMS is their like built-in mobile view and tools. And I think there's like a new trend for millennials, especially to talk about like the big internet and the little internet. Like there's some projects that are little internet that's like on your phone, right?
Is that millennials or is that Gen Z?
I don't know. It's certainly a millennial thing for me where I'm like, oh, I can't do this on my phone. I can't, like, I need my keyboard. Well, I need to be able to see the whole thing.
I'll tell you, intern Casey, who's working on our e-commerce t-shirt site, said he does not shop on his phone. He has to be on like a computer.
I knew he was a crusty old man on the inside. I love it.
He's a crusty old man on the inside. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, he wants that bigger screen. He wants to be able to see things. Like the phone screen's just too small for that. But what's really great is there are ways to make the phone screen act differently and work well. And HubSpot does that almost automatically. I know that we have sometimes in WordPress you can struggle with that a little bit. But yeah, that's a really great one.
Yeah.
The small internet and the big internet, or
the small internet and the big internet. But the small internet is really like if people are looking for a fast answer or if they're trying to engage with you for the first time, they're more than likely on a mobile device on the small internet. Yep. And so that also goes back to page load speeds because they don't always have a high speed connection, right? I know that's changing in larger metropolitan areas, but where we are in the Midwest, if they're on a road trip, middle of western Nebraska. What I've also noticed
is as internet speeds on phones get faster, like remember when LTE was like the jam and it was so fast? And now, like, if you look at your phone and it just has an LTE signal, you're like, oh, nothing's going to load. Like, I need to have that 5G UC extra plus.
I don't get that here. We got 5G.
Oh, well, we have 5G UC. It's a T-Mobile thing that's ultra something. I don't know what it is, but it's there.
Ultra cool.
We're faster than 5G. So yeah, and I think the worst thing is if you get through all of these other ones
Yes.
and everything is okay, if your content sucks. Like,
I'm honestly surprised Zach put this last as our content king.
I know, since he's really, but I think he gets that, like, the other stuff is, like, you're not even going to get to the content if you
That's
don't
true.
have those other things fixed.
Mhm.
But nothing is worse than going to a site and having it just be, like, nasty grammatical errors. I sent one to you the other day that was a social media, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah, it drives me crazy. And I'm seeing that on news sites now where, like, the grammar is bad, they're missing stuff. So first shout out, do not let AI just write everything for you. AI is a good tool to use to get an outline, to start writing, but you still need to go through it and make sure it's not recommending that you put glue in your pizza sauce.
Isn't it bananas?
It is. It is bananas. So well-written content, free of errors. Keep it up to date. If you've got that blog post that's really timely, set it to expire or set yourself a reminder to go in and update it.
Yeah, and I think too, one of the things that I really like to emphasize for people who are writing their own sites is like 300 words per page minimum. You're not going to get by with 2 or 3 sentences about we sell widgets and you should buy one. Like it doesn't do you any service on an organic search side. It's not going to help your clients find what they need. So when we talk about high quality content that's relevant, it's got to be a little bit meatier. And especially as you start to get into like internal services or product pages, like really describe, really like pull yourself out of the weeds and think about what your client or your customer would want to know, and use the beginner's mind to think about like, what don't I know?
Use your H2s and H3s, use your headers, put things in, or like you don't want to just vomit 300 words onto a page.
Right.
Having paragraphs that are, 3 or 4 sentences in different sections, bullet points are helpful, descriptions on photos are helpful. Like, keep it organized so that it doesn't feel like I'm just hitting this wall of text when I get there. That's one of the worst things to do. Because I'm not going to read that. No one is. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And that helps too with just like some organization and helping Google understand what's at your site. If you're using your, image descriptions and your H1s, H2s, H3s properly, like all of that kind of ladders up to a good user experience.
Yep, 100%. So, Catelin, I feel like that's an episode.
It is. We did it.
Yep. So, good content. Manage something that's easy to manage and maintain. Keep your navigation clear and simple. Make sure it's mobile friendly. Make sure people know what you want them to do, and keep it fast.
And if you're struggling with any of those things, you can find our agency at Antidote_71, or you can send us a question. Visit ctapodcast.live to send us an email or leave us a voicemail on our hotline at 402-718-9971. Could be about this episode or anything else, but if you have marketing questions, we'd love to help you. And your question will absolutely make it into a future episode.
It will, we promise. Jack is just waiting to get not a spam voicemail on that line.
Please.
So our next episode coming up is going to be the Tiki Torch. We're going to go back to the Tiki Room, Catelin.
Yes.
And it dovetails off of this one nicely. It's the importance of SEO audits. So a lot of this stuff is table stakes for SEO, and then you go much deeper into it. So it looks like I am the expert guest on that one. Maybe not. I don't know. I am not. Oh, okay. Zach is shaking his head.
Shall I guess? Can I guess? Are we joined by Jason or Riley?
Oh, we're getting a shrug from Zach.
It's a mystery.
It's a secret.
It's a mystery.
All right, so we'll talk about the importance of SEO audits next time, and we'll get a Tiki Torch as a drink, kind of about as far from a gin and tonic as you can get, right?
That's correct.
And we'll see you then.